incredible talent from across the state. And every year we do philanthropy, we give back to the community. Our social medias have just exploded over the last 2 years. And with that came the bull. Do you think we'll be able to do the video? Perfect. This is where it gets good. I'm kidding, no.
I need that for my birthday.
There we go.
That's pretty cool. Yes. Pretty cool symbol.
There we go.
Hello, this is Mayor Sylvester Turner. I want to congratulate everyone who worked hard to plan and produce last November's successful inaugural Dia de los Muertos Festival and Parade in downtown.
You can see it there.
I extend special thanks and recognition to Norma and Mauricio Navarro.
You can see her screen, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I can see it. Yeah, it's still a working point.
Hello,
Yeah, it's not gonna
this
come
is
up.
Mayor Sylvester Turner. I want to congratulate everyone who worked hard to plan and produce
What, we could
last
email them
November's
the copy.
successful inaugural Dia de los Muertos Festival
Sure.
and Parade in downtown.
So it's Mayor Turner, Mayor of Houston.
To Norma and Mauricio Navarro of the Navarro Group for doing an amazing job. The night was very special for our city. Thousands of Houstonians showed up at Sam Houston Park to enjoy the festivities and the nighttime parade through the streets of downtown. It was amazing to see people of every age dressed up in traditional.
Mhm. There it
we go.
is.
There we go.
There we go. One more time.
I want to congratulate everyone who worked hard to plan and produce last November's successful inaugural Dia de los Muertos Festival and Parade in downtown Houston. I extend special thanks and recognition to Norma and Mauricio Navarro of the Navarro Group for doing an amazing job. The night was very special for our city. Thousands of Houstonians showed up at Sam Houston Park to enjoy the festivities and the nighttime parade through the streets of downtown. It was amazing to see people of every age dressed up in traditional attire, face paint, and vibrant colors to celebrate Dia de los Muertos, which is a festive occasion to remember and celebrate loved ones who have died. I know our teams in the mayor's office of special events, Houston Police, Houston Fire, and Councilmember Gallego's office are ready to do it all over again this coming year. For those of you watching, I encourage you to get involved. Please volunteer and make plans to attend this spectacular community celebration in November of this year. As I close, I want to thank Councilmember Gallegos for having the vision and working hard to bring this premier event to the heart of the city of Houston. I'll see you in November.
Thank you, Mayor Turner. He was now replaced. Obviously, he was term limited. But because of that, we developed a 12-year contract with the city of Houston. Not one, not two, but 12 years.
Wow.
So that was a huge pat on the back for us, and we're extremely proud for me to bring this gift of my tradition, my culture, and my experience in event planning to my city that raised me for 10 years. So after that, as you'll see, if you want to, I can take over here, I guess. Fast forward. Then Houston came about, and we completed Houston now with our 3rd year. And there we go. We have a board of directors we created, and a board of directors that we are creating here in Odessa. The city got involved. It's arts and crafts, vendors, family. And again, the nighttime parade through downtown Houston at 7 p.m. With that, we've been growing our footprint from Sam Houston Park. We have an incredible participation from all community of all walks of life. And with that, we're bringing that tradition back to life in Houston for the first year. For a city as big as Houston, Texas, for them not to have any festivity of this magnitude, it was embarrassing for them when they had to do international trade, but now they can say they proudly host their first Dia de los Muertos parade in the heart of Houston. With that being said, we've been planning on this parade, but we had to give it a sense of true DNA, of true essence. The mission is clearly to honor the past as we celebrate the living. I know event planning, but I know death very well. I lost my father when I was 27 years old, my sister for cancer complications, my brother for medical complications, and my beloved mother in 2021, the day that Texas froze over. Not only that Texas froze over, but I got the call that my mom was found without any vitals. But with that, my gift is to remember those like Adelfa Callejo, who was a civic planner and civil rights activist for the city of Dallas for years. Our fallen five, who we all know and recognize, especially with the audience that we have in this room, and especially those that we know are still missing and deep in our community. So, the plans, sorry, that's always a hard part for me. In Dallas, like we mentioned, we have a full downtown parade. It's a 1.7 mile track. We have a festival footprint in Houston. It's a very 1.4 mile staging area with a very small 9 intersection parade, which I tell you one thing, the parade really doesn't matter how big or how small. A parade is a parade, and we can work with any amount of intersections. In Dallas, the festival footprint is the entire City Hall Plaza, which is quite large. In Houston is the Sam Houston Park, which fulfills our footprint perfectly. And we also, here we go, come on, don't fail me now. We hire local artists. These are 2 artists that did the signature campaign for Dallas. These are the artists that did the signature campaign for Houston. So that eventually will be another element that we hire local artists to help us in our marketing of the event. And we also like to recruit our leadership. In Dallas, we have the Council of General with City Council. In Houston, we have the president of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, City Council, Visit Houston Tourism, and of course, Chef Hugo Ortega, which if you're in the culinary industry, you would know he's a very well-known culinary leader. We give back to the Blue Guardian Foundation in Dallas, who funds families of any amount of need for fallen officers in the line of duty. In Houston, we give back to Christmas, and which is called Navidad en el Barrio, which is for kids for low-income families. So if you're asking now, what are we looking at doing in Odessa? Well, we've been traveling, as you can tell. We're going to LA, we're doing Las Vegas, we're doing Albuquerque, we did Houston, we're doing Dallas. So what's next? Odessa. So we would like to present our entire roster for the city of Odessa. First will be an Agave Festival, which is tequila and spirits. Second will be a Frida Fest, which is a Frida Kahlo, Latinas art. We had it in Fort Worth Sundance Square with 7,500 in attendance. We do a Charro Festival, which is horses and stampedes and mariachis and ballet folclóricos. We do Viva Dallas, which we could easily do for Viva Dallas and Viva Odessa. And then, of course, Odessa, Dia de los Muertos. So my proposal and my mission is threefold. One mission, always one, is Odessa. Odessa has to be clearly branded in everything we do from start to finish. If it doesn't say Odessa, it's not going to be part of our footprint. Number 2 is to focus city resources staff to serve its proud residents, voters, and taxpayers. And 3, to remove city resources, staff, and event planning services. The city of Odessa and its staff should be dedicated to serving the residents of Odessa, not to producing events. That's why there's a company like myself that can do that for such municipalities. My proposal is simple. First year will be to produce 3 signature events, Fandango, Holiday Parade, and an Odessa Dia de los Muertos Parade. Be a one-year contract. We're looking negotiably at 50,000, but this is where it gets even better. Year one, we would look for support from the city of Odessa for public safety, security plans, traffic control plans, venue selection, master event schedule, sanitation requirements, infrastructure requirements, city permits, ordinances, etc. So basically, year one is training. Help us get those city resources to build these events and more. But in year two, we continue with that, but the financial obligation for the city of Odessa is reduced to zero. Our goal is to be fully funded by year two, and not only that, is to fully fund all the resources that go into an event with no longer utilizing city of Odessa resources. And if it does come with a cost, that's a cost that the event producer should be taking on as a budgetary requirement versus a in-kind donated service from the city of Odessa. So all we're trying to do is turn those events into signature events for the city of Odessa, bring in the tax revenue, bring in beds and heads, as everybody likes to say it, and have a third party take over the event planning services for the city of Odessa. Let the benefits be for the city, the constituents, the staff, and remove the staff from becoming event planners. That's what we're here for. So with that, our mission, plain and simple, Odessa, proudly produced by the Navarro Group, if you so allow it. Any questions?
I'll open up council, open up to the dais for any questions.
I only have one question, or actually it's a request.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
we do vote for your company, I would prefer you to say Christmas parade, not holiday parade.
Yes, ma'am.
If we're doing it during the holidays.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, we.
I was being
we're
a little
we're
PC
proud of
about
using
that.
Christmas.
Thank
Yeah, it's okay. We're okay with being politically incorrect. So. we say Merry Christmas around here.
Amen. Merry Christmas to everybody then.
Amen.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? City Manager, you have any opinion, any comment on this?
Wow, these things do work tonight. I think everyone does know my thoughts on this, that I really would like the city out of the event planning business. The 50K is probably a savings if they're doing most of the planning on that first year. I'd want to have conversations and put the numbers to it. This is truly something that I think we need to explore. And, you know, there's still going to be events, Easter egg rolls and things like that we'll have to do, not have to do, get to do.
Mm-hmm.
But these big ones are truly, if we captured the expense that we put into these, I'm sure it's well over what we're talking about here. We just need to explore it some, have some conversations.
Yes, sir.
And being involved in events for several years with even downtown Odessa, Main Street Odessa, it would be nice to be able to see the employees get to enjoy some of these events instead of working these events over and over
Very
again.
true. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do pour a lot of resources into it, and the employees are the ones that are working beforehand, during the event, and after the event. And that's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that. So, Vado, do you have any? You want to introduce your group? Does anybody want to
Sure.
add anything to it?
Self-introductions? Come on.
Go ahead.
Her badge says visitor, but it's not correct. No. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Celeste Canedo, and as the newly initiated president of the Odessa Cultural Celebration Council, and this is an initiative that I've written, and so thank you for your attention and for allowing us to do this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of our City Council, and residents of our vibrant Odessa community. Today I stand before you to address a matter close to our hearts, the celebration of culture, culture, heritage, and unity. Our beloved city of Odessa boasts a thriving Hispanic community, a tapestry woven with rich traditions, resilience, and a zest for life. Yet despite this vibrant presence, we find ourselves culturally lacking in festivities that truly represent the essence of our Hispanic neighbors. Odessa is not merely a dot on the map. It is a pulsating hub of economic vitality. Our industries thrive, our businesses flourish, and our collective spirit propels us forward. However, there lies a curious paradox. Our residents often seek solace beyond our city limits. Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, they beckon with promises of culturally rich festivals and celebrations. Our people travel seeking the familiar rhythms of music, the tantalizing aromas of food, and the joyous camaraderie that only such gatherings can provide. Enter the Navarro Group, a beacon of festivity, a curator of joy, and a bridge between cultures. They orchestrate parades and weave through the city's streets, festivals that color parks, and events that resonate with the beating heart of our Hispanic community. Their repertoire is a treasure trove, vendors peddling handmade crafts, artisans breathing life into their creations, and culturally rich groups dancing, singing, and sharing stories. Imagine, my friends, if we were to invite the Navarro Group into our fold, imagine their expertise infusing our local celebrations, their meticulous coordination, their flair for spectacle, and their commitment to authenticity. The benefits would ripple through our community like a jubilant wave. Our local economy would thrive as visitors from neighboring towns would flock to witness our newfound vibrancy. The streets would echo with laughter, the air would carry the scent of tamales and churros, and our hearts would swell with pride. But let us not forget our most precious resource, the children. Our Mexican-American youth, born of two worlds, deserve to know their roots. They should feel the earthy rhythm of mariachi music, the taste of warm abuela's pozole, and learn the tales of their ancestors. By embracing the Navarro Group, we gift our children a legacy, a connection to their heritage that transcends borders and time. So my fellow Odessans, let us raise our voices in unison. Let us advocate for the infusion of festivity, the celebration of diversity, and the preservation of culture. Together we can transform Odessa into a canvas where every brushstroke tells a story, the story of resilience, of unity, and of the joy that brings forth when cultures collide. Thank you, and may our streets soon resound with the lively rhythms of celebration.
Very good. That was very good. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, that deserves an applause. I was impressed. Okay. Free.
Thank you. I'm Father Angel Castro. I'm working in Holy Redeemer here in Odessa. And I could share you the real significance about Dia de Muertos, because sometimes it's confused for the people. I was born in Mexico City, and the majority of my life I lived in Morelia, Michoacan, Mexico, the second state that has so hard the tradition, Dia de Muertos day. I prefer to do that in Spanish because it's better for me, and hopefully the translator help me to
Translate.
Thank you.
Father, one second, real please.
Yeah.
Le voy a decir en español.
Sí.
Mark Mata's leaving. He just got called. His grandfather's not doing well. I asked if we could pray. If you don't mind, ¿tú puedes orar un poquito por la vida de su abuelito?
Claro que sí.
Es ahorita va de emergencia en el hospital y no creo que va a sobrevivir. So, por favor, si puede, nomás una oración,
Sure.
por favor.
¿Cuál es el
So
nombre?
I'm asking for the father. Mark Mata just called his grandfather gravely ill. He just got the news the family's organized. I don't think he's going to survive. So I'm asking for a moment of prayer real quick for the family.
Yes, you need the name of the grandfather.
What's his grandfather's name? Pues, es Señor Mata. No sé
Señor
si-
Mr. Mata, es okay.
Señor
Mr. Mata.
Ok. A tus manos, Padre de bondad, encomendamos el alma y la vida de tu hijo, Mr. Mata. Tú que le has dado el don de la vida y durante esta vida le has concedido maravillosas oportunidades para crecer, para compartir con los suyos. Te pedimos que le bendigas en este momento de crucial afección, que le sostengas en este momento de salud y si es tu voluntad llamarle a tu presencia, que lo acojas en tus hermosas manos, lo lleves en tus hombros y lo conduzcas hasta la eternidad contigo. Te pedimos para que a toda la familia Mata pueda, Señor, venir el consuelo, la paz, la fortaleza, y que en tu nombre, Jesús, podamos sanar todas nuestras heridas, especialmente cuando nos toca despedirnos de aquellos que amamos. Te lo pedimos a ti que vives inmortal y glorioso, y vives y reinas por los siglos de los siglos. Amén.
Amén. Gracias.
Muy bien, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing us for
Okay, so en un principio el Día de Muertos es una tradición que se ha mezclado entre lo que llamamos la cultura precolombina, es decir, antes de Cristóbal Colón, y el cristianismo que vino a México en los años de la conquista.
So what he's starting to narrate is that where he's talking about the Day of the Dead and how it's combined by two different cultures before Christopher Columbus, and then in conjunction with the Christian, I guess, Christianity.
Yeah. Yeah. En Mesoamérica antes se tenía una afección para hacer sacrificios humanos, pero el cristianismo terminó con esos sacrificios humanos y lo que hizo fue más bien honrar la memoria de aquellos que han partido.
So prior cultures had it in where they would share the dead in more of a ritual. Then they converted into not seen as a negative effect, but seen it more as a positive, in where you highlight the death and create a ritual in that aspect.
Después, con el paso del tiempo, especialmente en los estados de Michoacán y Oaxaca. Voy a intentar hacer esto en inglés. In the first times of the colonization, some actors come, especially to Michoacán, Mexico City, and Oaxaca. One of them was Vasco de Quiroga. Vasco de Quiroga was a great man. Spain, he was from Spain, and he teach to the Mesoamerican people how can they do for honor the dead, and how can they stop the human sacrificials, and how can they pray for them. So this is the way they learned that the human soul is eternity, transcendental, and they learn how they can take life after this life. For the reason, Dia de Muertos is not an death festival, no, it's for living festival. Es una fiesta de vivos, es una fiesta de gente grande. The only confusion is its self-name, because Dia de Muertos, it means death? No. Dia de Muertos is because all of them that we remembered and they pass away, for us, are living, and they are in the heaven or anyway, but we remember them with all our soul and loving memory. So, el Día de Muertos entonces tiene esta connotación. No es una fiesta de muerte, es una fiesta que evoca la vida. Por eso es que nosotros le volvemos a dar vida a lo único que quedó de los restos humanos. What is the last thing that we conserve in our body? The bones. The bones. So the bones is the only thing that we have after death, with the years after. And the bones, we can remember how was the people. Entonces, al ser los huesos, al ser el esqueleto humano, la única forma que quedaba de los muertos, entonces a partir del esqueleto humano se empieza a hacer la memoria de aquellos que vivieron, pero no es una cosa satánica, ni es una cosa ocultista, sino es una cosa para dar vida en la memoria de aquellos que nos han dejado. What is that?
That was a lot.
Do you remember
So
all
I'm
that?
going to summarize it. So
To
basically
paraphrase it.
what he's saying is that the Day of the Death is not a symbol of death. It's the symbol of the continuation of life. And how he's referencing the bones means is that's the last part that decomposes and usually what stays. And so with the bones, even though you have that, it doesn't mean that it's something negative. It's not in a negative aspect of it, but it's more of a positive of how you continue on life and you grow from that. And we want to highlight all of the memories for our loved ones. And it doesn't matter what culture or background you come from, because that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to highlight the life of someone.
Con el paso de los siglos, esta situación se fue creando en una cultura que no solamente es de la Iglesia Católica o no solamente es del estado de Michoacán, es una cultura que abraza todo México. La memoria de los muertos es honrar a aquellos que nos han precedido y que nos acompañan también espiritualmente. ¿Paro?
Yeah, it is the same.
Ok, es así, sí, perfecto. Entonces, lo que sucede es que aquello que se veía muy macabro, no sé si existe la palabra en inglés, pero muy como... Sí, aquello que se veía muy macabro se convierte en una festividad de alegría, de colores, de sonrisas. Por eso es que ustedes van a ver que a el cráneo humano le ponen adornos de colores, le ponen sonrisa. ¿Por qué? Porque simboliza que aquella persona que ha muerto, nosotros esperamos que continúe gozando, que ya no tenga dolor, que ya no tenga enfermedad, que ya no tenga padecimiento, sino que por fin esté en una estancia de beatitud.
Okay, so the last part is that we tend to see as the skeletons to be something more of a negative, but in this case, you're turning like the skeleton into something positive of what you're seeing your loved ones that are continuing on, which is not suffering anymore from any pain or whatever it can be, but that's why you start seeing flowers and like smiles on these skeletons, because that reflects the continuation of the positive vibe and where they're going.
Mucha gente piensa que celebrar el Día de Muertos es celebrar algo ocultista, satánico o desagradable. En México es una costumbre llena de espíritu cristiano y llena también de amor por los que nos han dejado. Nosotros como latinos tenemos mucho afecto a toda nuestra familia, especialmente a aquellos que nos han dejado. La memoria de aquellos que nos han dejado simboliza mucho para nosotros. Por eso es que ofrecemos simbólicamente, porque sabemos que ellos ya no vienen a este mundo. Eso lo tenemos muy claro. Toda alma de una persona es imposible que retorne a este mundo, pero simbólicamente nosotros ofrecemos lo que a ellos les gustaba, como comida, maybe tequila, lo que ellos les gustaban en vida, simbólicamente para aliviar el recuerdo en nuestra mente, en nuestra memoria. Por eso es tradición, no es una cosa mágica, no es una cosa esotérica, no es una cosa, no, es tradición en el recuerdo de aquellos que nos han dejado. Gracias. Y esto se vuelve fiesta, se vuelve color, se vuelve sabor, se vuelve música, se vuelve tradición.
Just paraphrase that.
Okay, yeah, so basically what we're talking about is that you're seeing all the positive of it. In Mexico and Latin American countries, this is something very special in their cultures. It's a way for them to be able to celebrate and kind of bring back memories such as foods that they like, or maybe a drink that they like, making sure that the atmosphere is something that will resemble something that they enjoy doing at that time. So again, it becomes a celebration for their afterlife.
Una pregunta. Oh, maybe, Mauricio, you come here, you're probably
Yeah.
able to answer this. Well, so we're talking about three proposals. You're looking at the Christmas parade, the Firecracker Fandango, and then this is a new introduction.
Yes.
On the Dia de los Muertos, this is a Latin festival. This is not just from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So this is because the father says something about pre-American, pre-Columbian, pre Christopher Columbus. So this is South America. This is Central America. This is Latin culture, right?
Yes.
Which is reflective of what we're seeing here in this community.
True.
So is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, it goes back to the Aztecan days, like we mentioned, and what we've been seeing is that it was a tradition that was very hidden. But of course, with everything that's been happening with Coco and Walt Disney and Jorge Gutierrez with the Book of Life, it put this tradition into a spotlight where nobody knew what it was before. So what we're doing now also, we're educating the general public on what this tradition is. But the majority of this tradition is that it is All Saints Day, basically, is what I like to say. It's All Saints Day, November 1st, November 2nd.
That's a good point.
But at the same time, all we're doing is honoring the living as we celebrate death, or maybe we're celebrating the dead as we honor the living. It just depends on the reflection and the way that you see it. I honor my living with events, but I honor my dead with the events that I produce myself.
Pero si usted representa la iglesia católica,
Católica. Yeah.
¿cuál?
Yo soy en Holy Redeemer,
Holy
aquí en
Redeemer.
Odessa, en el website.
Y en México está invocado la iglesia con las celebraciones cristianas que es el Día de los Muertos.
Fuertemente, sí. Vasco de Quiroga fue un obispo católico en sus tiempos.
I asked
Hace
the
casi
question
200
that
años.
if the church in Mexico, because he's from Mexico City, and the father at Michoacan, he's the father at Holy Redeemer in Mexico. Is the church involved with these types of celebrations? It's Christian celebration. You say yes.
Sí,
Okay.
Majority of this celebration is a spiritual celebration. In Mexico, it's a really Catholic celebration.
Okay.
Right? But other churches, Christian churches, is joining us in this day.
Okay. Does you have any other things to add?
No, I mean, I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me your time, and you have a beautiful city, and I know there's a lot of residents here that would love to see what we can do to bring Odessa to the limelight. And it's always funny because everybody says it's an Odessa event, it's a City of Dallas event, it's a Houston event. But I'll tell you one thing, the world is watching, and the world will see what Odessa is going to be bringing up, and you're going to see it in years and years to come.
Well, we got the world living here now.
Amen.
Thank
It's
you.
been my honor to be here with you.
I
gentlemen.
appreciate it. That was a great presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
Thank you
those
very
were
much
some
for your
great
time.
words. I was really impressed with that presentation. It really encompassed. Yes, one more request. That way we can move on with this busy agenda that we've got.
Yes.
It won't take long. So, I am a veteran. I'm a 5-year disabled veteran.
Thank you for your service.
And so we already do these types of celebrations here. We do them in our church. We do them in the city. When we bring out on Veterans Day, we bring out the tables. We put out the picture of our fallen family members, our soldiers that we wish to honor. We bring out their medals. We bring out, and this essentially what this celebration is exactly that. It's bringing the pictures of your loved one, but it's rooted with the colors and the vibrancy of the Mexican culture. And it's not just Mexican. It's not just tied to Mexico. It's all of Latin America. But it's not, and what Father was trying to explain was that sometimes it has a macabre connotation because you see skulls and you see the sugar skulls, and it's not associated with that. It's what he was trying to explain is that that's all that's left when we bury our loved ones. is the bones. And for them, that putting a smile on the bones is significant in showing our children they're living on the other side, and they're happy, and they're celebrating. It's a celebration of life on the other side, and they're waiting for us to return. And what he was also trying to explain was that we bring, that one day, the day of remembrance of our loved ones, you make them their favorite food, and it's not. And I'm a Christian, and this is not idol worship, or it's just a day to remember. Let's eat grandma's favorite meal. Let's cook her favorite meal, the one that she used to love the best. And let's, the music that they used to listen to. And it's a celebration of life. And I know that you guys are getting it from the Catholic point of view, but I also want you to understand that me, as a Christian, I am also a Mexican American. And I would like for our children to see, rather than just showing them a Disney movie, I want them to get the authentic cultural significance of this day. And that it's not really tied to any religion, it's an authentic day of remembrance for the Hispanic community.
Thank you very much, really appreciate it. So council, the thing is, I agree that we pour so much resources of our, from the city to event planning. That's not something that we should be in the business of.
And I guarantee VIP access across the board, okay?
I would like to see to give the authority to the city, to management to continue negotiation and to explore this. Mr. McMyer saying that this was a significant amount of savings to us in year one and in year two. I think this is something that I feel that we need to do. So I'm going to ask for consensus to move forward.
So moved.
So moved.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, council members.
Our people will get with your people, and your people get with our people, and we'll try to work this out.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you for that presentation. Thank you for being here. Padre, gracias. Okay, we're going to move on to item 3. Item 4, discuss the purchase of 10 2026 Volvo side-load waste trucks. That is good news. We're going to get them tomorrow?
First of the year. Mayor, council, this purchase was actually planned. I was going to budget for it in next year's budget, do this at the beginning of the year. But time is of the essence on this, and finance wouldn't let me spend money that's not in my budget yet, so I have it in my budget this year. Have it in my budget this year to purchase 10 additional Volvo side-load solid waste trucks, and those trucks would be November builds, and they would be delivered to the city in the first and second quarter of 2025.
Second and third quarter?
First and second quarter.
That's a lot faster than we've been getting them before.
Yes, sir. Vendor has provided a buy board contract for the purchase, and the total purchase price would be $3,336,310. And the old trucks would be sold at auction on replacement, and it would get us in a good place with our solid waste trucks to be able to start the replacement schedule.
Well, Mr. Adams, you had me as soon as I called this item, that's where you had me. I said, when I saw that there were 10, I said, yeah, I'm a yes, definitely. Council, any discussions, any comments, any questions?
Do we have any other purchases coming in from dump trucks for government?
I can get dump trucks if you want dump trucks.
I mean, well, for the sanitation trucks you see in the alleys, I was under the impression we could have some previously. No?
We do have 7 additional solid waste trucks on order, which 3 of those are at the upfitter right now getting the canned bodies on them. Those should be delivered in the next 30 to 45 days.
Great, wonderful.
So, Mr. Adams, we're purchasing just a container.
Complete container, everything.
Oh,
Turnkey. It'll be delivered to us, ready to put in
So,
service.
Mr. Thompson was asking these aside for the.
These are the side load for the alley containers.
The ones that we're desperately needing.
Correct.
Okay.
Sidewalks for alley, for the dumpsters,
Yeah, not for the dumpsters, not the
not the
curbside.
rubber ones, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah. Good. Can't get them here soon enough. Awesome. All right. I'm saying cut the check. We can't get these soon enough. I think you have an agreement. You got item 5. Item 5, discuss the purchase of one Mack LR64 automated solid waste truck. Mr. Adams?
This truck is for the automated curbside, the plastic containers. This truck I had to jump through some hoops on. I had to contact a dealer in Florida that I had done business with previously to get them to dealer trade our dealer in Waco, Texas, a truck that they needed so we could make this one come through, because Jesse said he did need this. But this will be also be a Mack chassis. We would receive this one first quarter of 2025, so get at it very soon. Vendor has presented this on a buy board contract, and the purchase price would be $463,851.10.
Just shy of $500,000, man, for a truck. Council, any discussions? Consensus to move forward? All right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're behind.
Yep. Item 6, discuss the authorizing city manager to execute the extension maintenance support agreement, number 894, purchase order from Motorola Solutions.
Mayor,
Mr.
Council.
Flores.
So this is for dispatch. It was time for I believe a 5-year renewal, but we're planning on replacing it. So we're just going to do a 1-year extension. So it's going to be at $336,036. Essentially, we're just getting the bare bones and eliminated some of the optional stuff. So we could just continue for this year and then hopefully be replaced within this coming year.
Okay. Council, any questions on this item? We have consensus to go ahead and give the authorization city manager to discuss this information. All right. Mr. Flores, thank you. We're going to move on to item 8, discuss the police department to enter a contract with Vericata in care of GTS Technology.
Wait.
Skip number 7.
Oh, he does have item 7.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry about that, Tony. Discuss the authorizing city manager to address the new cyber city positions with information technology department. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. So essentially, we want to create a team that actually focuses just on cybersecurity. We're a little behind on that. Right now, we just do it as an aside, which times have changed. It has to be a priority now. It has to be its own team. It could be 5 years, 30 years. Eventually, we're going to get hit. Everybody is, and we're going to need a team that knows how to respond, to mitigate it, to minimize it, make sure it's small, and make sure we know what to do when it does. Our backups are secure. We know how to restore. We know how to get back on our feet. So we need a dedicated team for that now. So, and that's kind of why we're asking for a senior and a junior position for this.
Okay. Council, any questions?
You're asking for 2 positions?
Yes, sir.
Senior, junior. Okay.
And this is something Mr. Flores is completely correct. We're way behind on. There's probably going to have to be some evolution of it, but this is a good first step. We need to get it in place because we're seeing people hit all the time. I mean, every day, and we've got to get this in place.
And even with our relationship building, I need a team to actually start. We have government resources that we're barely starting to actually form a relationship with, like CISA. We just had a meeting with a member from the FBI, then private people from Palo Alto, things where we're actually trying to say, we don't know everything. We need outside resources, and we need people to develop those relationships. So that's why we need a team to actually say, okay, these are the relationships we need to develop, so we can not just rely on us. Our job is to know what the city of Odessa does, and then we look at other resources to help us figure out what is the industry standards for the city of Odessa and how do we make those standards, basically.
Okay. Sounds good. Good forward thinking. All right. Council, any discussion?
Just where's the money coming from?
It's coming out of our fund balance. So we have the money to fund it already.
It's in their budget.
Okay, good. That's all I need to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Haney?
Is this something that we need to assign a couple of council members to this body so that they can stay on top of this information to relay it to us?
Sounds like you're volunteering for that.
No. I'm a Mac man, so
And
you
we-
guys keep assigning me.
I mean, we can
Windows.
create something that,
So
that we
he's
can
inherently
package.
insecure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, sir, I feel like between some of the security stuff that's going on around us here and everything else, that if money's needed to be spent, we need to have a good information to us.
Yeah, you can wind up leave it up to the city manager to form something, and then volunteer who wants to get on it.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Mr. Flores, thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on to item 8, once again, to discuss police department enter a contract with Verica in care of GTS Technology Solutions. Chief?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council.
Good
This is
afternoon.
simply a request to spend $78,184.95 for a 10-year contract with Verkada and GTS to install a camera system around the police department building and also key card access to certain doorways inside the building. These funds were not budgeted. However, they are coming out of state forfeiture funds, so we'll let a dope dealer buy our security cameras.
All right. That's always good.
Yes.
Make it work for our side.
Chief, you said 78,000 what?
$184.95.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So are this all gonna be, I was reading that stuff, it looks like it's all gonna be wired, it's not gonna be wireless?
It is going to be hardwired, yes. This is, the Verkada is the vendor that was chosen by the city, I believe, with IT's input. So I think that's, when you look around City Hall, the camera system here is the Verkada system. So we want to have, I think as we move forward, for all the systems to be the same.
Okay.
Verkada is your leading system out there right now. And this also allows things such as when we get the Verkada cameras here at City Hall, these guys can watch them. And wherever else, Municipal Plaza, it'll be a unified system at that point. And it plays a little bit into what Tony was just talking about. Cybersecurity is not just computers, it has to do with everything.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Chief, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Gonna move on to item 9, discuss fire rescue salary study. Mr. Bigman?
Excuse me. If I can talk, and at some point I'm gonna have Mr. McGee come up here and tell us a little bit more about it, but if you all remember back in July, whenever we said, okay, we're gonna do raises for all the city employees except for fire and PD, and we would put these off. We went through the exercise with PD here a little while back and worked on their salaries and their step plans and all this. Looked at positions that we didn't feel like we were gonna fill, were able to take and then do calisthenics with that and come up with a real good solution. We've done a lot the same with fire at this point, and we've come up with a new step, or I guess a new step plan, but anyhow, I may be speaking out of turn on some of the phrases. But basically what we've done is we've been able to take and get the salaries up by getting rid of incentives and rolling them into salaries, then applying the percentage to those salaries to get them up where they need to be. It's a very important thing that we've done. I appreciate the Chief Cotton and his crew for going through and doing a lot of this for finance, for making sure that we had the money with it. One of the things that we always come back to are ARPA funds and how long they're going to last. By doing this, we spend a little bit more money right now, but over the long run, we save money. And it's also better for the firefighters over the long run, because when raises are applied, they're applied to all the money that they're earning, not just a base salary. We've gone through and we've been able to extend these ARPA funds through some extra funds that we have that I've talked about a couple times now, these rollover funds through the end of 2025. And it's like everything else, it buys runway out in front of us for these specific things. But as in my meeting with Matt today, as he showed us, there's a very good chance that we don't have to get into the funds that we pulled out of rollover accounts, and that we only use ARPA funds for these transformations here. If you'll have any technical questions around this, Mr. McGee will have to answer those, because him and Chief Cotton and his group are the brains to this.
Come on up. You have the floor. Anything you want to add?
Good afternoon. No, so, basically Fire did a real good job putting a spreadsheet together. They did a big breakdown of the numbers, and, some of their focuses was, how can we stay competitive? They also wanted to deal with some of the compression issues that they dealt with the raises from last year. So they built a spreadsheet, and they worked really hard on the numbers. It's actually up here right now. It's kind of hard to see. Basically, in the left column, you kind of see what positions there are, how many positions, and then you can see their salaries. This is going to be without the incentives included. So basically what they did is they kind of did some reverse engineering and figured out what percent would we need to get to, like I said, stay afloat, stay competitive, combat the compression. So you can see where they do have the percentages. I do think they are really accurate. They didn't jump all over the place. They started with, let's say, 5. They went to 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, and just reversed engineered it all the way until they got exactly where they need to be.
Mr. McGee said something that I did miss that I should have talked about more, and that's compression, which has been a huge issue in fire, and they've gone a long ways to eliminating that compression issue that we've had over the years.
With the ARPA funds, yes, we do already have funds set aside for specific reasons such as this. That has to do with public safety and their wages and salaries and things of that nature. It did look like originally we were just paying the premium pay, and it was going to last up until the end of 2026, the ARPA funds. If we do include these new requests today, we will probably have to pull around $450,000 out of ARPA this year. Going forward in the next year, we're around $1 million. So instead of going into 2026, we should be able to get through the end of 2025. There is a chance that, there is some funds left over, and it's just something we'll have to dig through, but that's kind of where we're sitting at the moment.
When you say to the end of 2026 calendar year, or we can get through the fourth quarter in 25?
It'll be a fiscal year, so it'll end in September 25.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
When you use the word competitive, to remain competitive, who do we compare ourselves with, Chief Cotton?
That's mostly the people that we're losing people to, and it's the DFW area for the most part. This is putting us in a good range to compete with that market.
Okay. Thank you.
Like it or not, we're competing with that market, whether we like it or not.
Yes, sir.
Direct, and we can't even say indirect. It's direct. It's affected us.
Yes, sir. The few that have voluntarily left for other departments, that's where they've gone.
And unfortunately, we deal with issues that really are not directed to us. That's in the unincorporated areas, and then beyond that affect us, and we have to respond. If we stop existing, they suffer too. There's a cumulative effect on that.
And then looking at this as we were going into this early, we weren't ever going to make it through 26.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be candid.
That was the question I've got, Chief, is that I thought that the first study we did, I thought we addressed compression. But are you saying it wasn't adequate?
No, sir. Actually, it's what caused the compression.
So it caused more compression than
Yes,
it
sir.
solved.
When we did the staggered raises at 2015, 12, 10, 8, That created a compression at our captains, division captains, and battalion chief levels because they got the lesser amount of those raises. For an example, right now, we have a division captain that has been in the spot for longer than the other two, but he makes less than they do.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff that
Yeah, I
we're
know.
talking
I remember us discussing it, but I thought that when we did that first batch of raises and use it, ARPA money, I thought that was gonna fix some of that.
No,
stuff.
they were
But
gonna look, they were gonna work through the process. It was something that they had to look look to and fix it. It was a problem.
Well, I know it was a problem. I'm just confused why, I just thought the consultant solved that, but anyway, I guess I'm confused, but.
And that was one of the discussions that we had, and it was discussed that, if we wind up doing this, and this is why we were very reluctant to bringing in those, we wanted them to be able to address it. And it was a big debate about, all these type of incentives. Can we just eliminate that process and then just put it into the salaries? And so that was one of the discussions, but we needed, and I didn't want to go back to Evergreen and go into that. And so this is some good work. Going through this and what you guys did and reverse engineer it, how confident you are to be able, they will be able to address these issues. Because the thing is, we need to do this. Well, where's your confidence level in this? If you were to rate it, where are you at with this? You guys are confident with this, that this is the way to go?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
No question.
Okay.
I have a question.
And I know that there's a lot of numbers here, and I'll be happy to explain whatever part of it I need to. And I can probably even throw in some details to help understand the process and the reasoning behind all of it as well.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So Chief, you did all this work and you worked on the step plan. Did you include yourself in any of this?
No.
And why is that?
Didn't think I needed to.
Okay. Point of clarification, I think you should be included in this, but I understand why you didn't.
Mr. Beckmeyer, I'm really kind of puzzled about this Evergreen study that we did. It doesn't seem like, for the money we spent, it doesn't seem like it's really accomplished what we wanted it to accomplish, nor was it ever finished. Am I misunderstanding that?
With the wind up.
I don't disagree
Yeah.
at all.
I would think so too. The Evergreen wind up was really went beyond with the employees.
It was all
It was
employees.
2 steps.
Yes.
It was 2 steps, and that was one of the things that we wrestled with because we didn't think it was thorough and complete. Yeah, my personal opinion, and I put it in for the record, I felt that the study was adversarial in pitting all the departments against each other, and I thought that was completely unfair because that's not the intent. And I said, I just didn't have confidence in that. I have a lot more confidence in this. And you're assuring that you have confidence in it, staff has confidence in it, and, so if there's anything you want to add that we need to be able to simplify it or give us any type of direction so we can understand it, get a hold of it, you got the floor, you're free to explain anything.
Along the lines of what you're saying there, Mayor, we have a team now that does the work, and we're running late. We said we'd do this at the first of the year, and we started it not long after the first of the year. But these guys have been going through and back through to make sure it's done right. And I've got complete confidence in this because they've gone through the numbers with me, and you've got to beat them into my head. And every one of them knows that I'm tighter than a fiddle string. Mm-hmm. And we've got to prove everything about it. Y'all can keep bringing up Evergreen. I just soon never hear it again.
I agree with you.
I heard someone mention ARPA funds. Going back, a year or so ago, remind me of the dollar amount of ARPA funds that was provided for fire and rescue as part of the salary.
Originally, it was $3 million, and then at the end of December in 2023, another 7.6 was allocated. So it was about 10.6 million total, and we've spent around 8, I believe, or we have around 8 remaining. And all the money that has been spent has been premium paid towards public safety.
So today's presentation will include additional ARPA funds to
No.
be included
This is
in
part
this?
of those ARPA funds that's left.
Exactly, and originally, so when we set those funds aside, it was supposed to last until the fiscal year ending in 2026. And if we do this, which we do have the funds available, it will short it to fiscal year 2025.
Thank
So
you.
that is what we have to consider.
That's what I wanted clarified, yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I think I'd like to make some points that'll kind of maybe push all this home. Couple things we've done is over the past 20, 25 years.
I know. Hey, I feel you, brother.
When you're looking at that one, I gotta have one. We have, every year, we've added some type of incentive, some type of skill. We've added 2 here, we've added 3 here, we've skipped a year or 2. And it's gotten out of hand, if I'm being honest. I don't know the exact number that we have, I didn't count them all, but there's probably somewhere in the range of 30 different skills or incentive pays. And nobody really knows which one's which, because they've gone from, in our policies, from skill pay to incentive and back and forth. Just by calling somebody up and saying, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
It's a payroll nightmare. It's an HR nightmare. It's a nightmare for our payroll person who enters payroll every 2 weeks. We have payroll issues and errors that are created because of it every 2 weeks. HR and payroll are going to love us also if this goes through, because we're going to eliminate all that. Now, when we say we're getting rid of all of incentives and all of skill pay, that's not exactly true. Education, which is a city policy, we can't get rid of that. But we're taking the bigger ones, the paramedic levels, paramedic level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are incentive pays that you get paid for after you reach you have to get like 7 or 8 points. You have to get a certain amount of cards, ACLS cards, PHTLS, PALS, NRP, all of this CE training that we get to earn these cards. And if you have these certain amount of cards, it gives you what level of paramedic pay you're going to get. But the paramedic level 4 pay that I've been getting for 20 years, whenever that went into effect, I don't know, is the same paramedic level 4 pay that I'm getting today, or prior to me being in this position. So we're rolling those bigger ones into our base pay. And if you look at the spreadsheet, and if you look at column C, that's what we're currently at now.
Okay.
And give me just a second, let me gather my thoughts. So when you roll over the larger skill pays like the paramedic, and paramedic is what draws employees. Of course, we're going to have to figure out how to word that and how to fix it, because we're not paying you now for your paramedic, but we're putting it into your base pay to where when you get your cost of living raises, you get a raise on that as well. So if you'll look at firefighter 2, just down a little bit, the row, that'll kind of help me explain it a little bit. So each one of those in column B, the 33, 22, 6, 6, 5, those are steps. Those are how many people we have in that step currently today. And that's what they're making out to the right of it. For each position and each amount, your column D is the total that it's costing us now. By us rolling our larger incentives, paramedic, fire investigator, things like that, into our base pay, we came up with a percentage, which is your column F, of what that percentage is on top of that base pay. So we average that out to 11.55. We average that out, 11.55 now creates on top of your current base pay, your new base pay, which is under G. So that number doesn't change. All it's changing is that's your new base pay that includes your skills. So your skills are not being paid separately, if I'm making sense so far. Now, on top of column G, you can pretty much skip I, J, K, L, and M. Those are columns for us when it comes time for us to explain all of this to our people. But you go to O, and you're putting that percentage on top of your numbers in column G. And that's where you're getting your final number in column Q. Now, one thing we're doing as well on top of that, we're not only getting rid of incentives, skills, we're getting rid of acting pay as well. And we're also giving up 10 firefighter positions that we cannot fill this year.
10?
10, yes, sir.
Okay.
If you look at the bottom, and just as an example, where it says 4% of current salaries, if OFR members were given a 4% raise in October with everybody else, the $654, $692.84 is what it would have cost us. Including pension, $838,006.84. Okay? What it's going to cost us today, if we do these raises, is only $254,775 more. And we've also saved money because we've not done this for 6 months. We're also going to save for another month because we won't even have this in play probably till May 12th-ish, probably at the earliest.
May 12th?
Yes, sir. So you're far right on below your step plan where it says unfunded raise from April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
The 263, 645, 96 is all it's costing us this year alone to do all these changes and increase that type of significant pay and get out of our compression issues that we've got.
There you go.
If you look at the step plan and you look at the yellow part, a lot of those yellows, so the yellow signifies that's your number that is above the first step in the next rank.
Wow.
Those yellows, due to compression, were in step 2 and 3 in your captain BC and DC ranks.
Okay.
When Matt was talking about the 0.1% increases, we were meticulous about that because we wanted to increase 0.1% till we got it to where each person had to stay in their rank 8 years before they would overcome step 1 in the next rank.
Yeah,
That's what solves our
So
compression.
you'll have some continuity there.
Yes, sir. And more times than not, people aren't going to stay in a rank 8+ years.
Is it?
It happens.
Yeah. Good. Some good work. I don't know why we even got evergreen.
We are also restructuring our fire marshal's division. We have 9 positions for investigator inspectors currently, and we're wanting to split that. We've never been able to fill 4 of those positions since we've had them. So we're going to turn those 4 into inspector only so we can hire for them immediately.
That'll help.
What
Sir?
that does is they don't have to go through as much
All the
certification, training, that type of thing. You can hire somebody.
To be a law enforcement officer, the background and everything and the hiring process is stringent. It takes 6 months. So we can hire people now, and instead of doing 5% of the inspections across the city, we can get closer to doing the 100% that we should do every year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But we're also going to freeze 2 of those for the rest of this year until next year. So we can hire 2 immediately, get the inspection process started, incentivize our current investigator inspectors, and still come out very well for a little dollar amount.
Will these additional inspectors be from within our own department?
We currently have interest from within our department, and we have had interest from outside as well.
Okay.
Awesome. Questions? Makes sense? Yep.
No, I
Makes
think it looks
completely
good.
sense. This is, I like this. This is a lot thorough, well thought up. Great job. Great job. So make sure you guys put an RFP for the next consultant when we go out and do this again.
So my only comment would be if Jason's not included in this, does council want to consider him being included in this.
Well, if I may, just so we're honest and clear, I did get a 4% in October.
Okay.
Just so we're clear.
Okay, appreciate it.
When you're talking about that, those guys did the work. I'm
Thank
just
you,
reading.
appreciate it. Great work.
So,
You know, so I like it. Council, do we have a consensus to move forward?
Absolutely.
Give the city manager authority to work all this out. Great job. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Really, we really
y'all.
appreciate
Appreciate it.
everything. I know you hear it a lot of times that we appreciate what you guys do, but sincerely, we are 100% behind you, and we're going to fix this. We've been committed, and we will continue to move forward. And we know, and we can say this on behalf of our citizens. We appreciate everything you do, and continue your good work. We put blessings upon you and your family. You be careful out there. Thank you for being here. We're going to go ahead and move on to item 10, update subrogate claims for property damage. Ms. Griffin, how are you doing?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Council, Mr. Beckmeyer, Dan, and Wilma. So I wanted to share with you, we had a couple claims that went through our internal claims review committee, in which have now been, we've reached a settlement. But we wanted to present it to you because the amounts are over $50,000. And in these two claims, in this instance, were actually our fault. The first one was involving one of our solid waste drivers who failed to yield the right of way and struck a vehicle. Sorry. And
You want to do the ones for the night? Yeah, let's talk about the $81,000.
okay, and save these.
Yeah, save those.
Okay. So tell the good stuff right now.
Oh, they're gonna hit us with
Okay.
the big amount first.
Okay.
Then we'll get the smaller amounts
Tell
later.
them about the $81,000
Okay.
subrogation we're about to get.
Okay, I got it.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry about that. So we just received a check for $81,000, and it was as a result of a citizen who was driving really, really fast and hit a vehicle before hitting one of our traffic control boxes, and actually took the whole control box out.
Is that the one on 21st Street?
21st.
Yeah.
It was like a year or more ago.
Oh, yeah, at least a
Yeah,
year.
that's what I called it.
But we subrogated though, and basically they're paid.
Yes. So
Now
it
I get
happened
it.
back in May 2023.
Yeah.
And so we're just getting the amount now. We didn't get the entire amount that it cost us to repair the control box, but we got close, and that was because he hit quite a few things before he hit our control box, and so those folks had to be paid out as well. And so that was at the max of his limit, his liability limit. So we did receive $81,000, and I think it cost us close to $90,000 to repair the traffic control box.
Which is a whole lot better than we used to be.
Oh, okay.
Used to be, we just write a $90,000 check and, well, we forget about it.
Yeah.
But now we go after the subrogation money.
That's
Yes.
great.
Again.
Yes.
Great.
And that's already been deposited.
Well, we got paid at the work session. We're about to pay it out at the
Exactly.
at the council meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Item 11, discuss authorizing city manager to add a new special projects coordinator position to the development department. Ms. Shaughnessy.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is to authorize city manager to add a new special project coordinator position into the development department. So this position will focus on continuing downtown projects, providing project management and support, and spearheading planning activity. It's not planning activities as events. It's going to be more like feasibility studies, project design, and other projects related to downtown, and other special projects as well.
Good.
And the money's in a bond,
Yes. So the money is coming from the funds for the downtown for this remaining fiscal year, and then we're going to work it in hopefully for the next budget.
Next budget. Good.
How much we talking about there?
Right?
Salary range? I mean,
Sorry?
I'm asking for salary range.
Oh, we are asking for 91,484.50, but that is at the midpoint.
Okay. Council, any discussion? Any comments? Give you the authorization, city manager, to move forward? All right, sounds good. Thank you. Seeing that there is no more business before the city council, I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Councilmember Swanner, second by Councilmember
So second.
Vasquez. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All those in negative indicating by the same sign. Motion passed unanimously. We are adjourned, and we'll see you at 6 o'clock.